This isn't base game Ravenfield, nor is this, and neither is this. This is actually the base game. Yeah, it's not the flashiest game, is it? However, I believe this is what makes Ravenfield so special. It's an FPS made entirely by you. If you can think of it, there's probably a mod for it, and thus it's possible to create. Do you want to play super hot but the animes are anime girls? Go ahead, you can do it. Do you want the body cam footage of a terrorist? Go right ahead, it's possible. Do you want to keep the base game feel? Then Vanilla Plus is what you're gonna download. Anything is possible, you just need to find a mod for it. As for the base game, it isn't really too complex. It's just your classic red team v blue team with a limited but somewhat diverse set of weapons and quite a few maps to choose from. Those maps can range from decent to really good, and for what it's worth, every map is unique and has its own identity. Archipelago, for instance, is a great map and is a major upgrade from when I started playing back in 2017.
I'm feeling the bombing run. I'm escaping. Can I get out? Oh, I can't get out. Oh, I die. No? Life alert?
Steel should definitely put the original on the workshop. Citadel is another map that I would say is on par with Archipelago for quality. Eagle Team is storing Raven Team's, well, Citadel, with a combined vehicle and land assault. All the while, Raven has a defensive set of bunkers and air support. This map has everything it needs to be a great map. And it even has a story mode being developed for it at the moment. Mountain Range has a heavy emphasis on aerial combat, and there are multiple land-based maps. Really, the only map types the base game is missing are urban warfare and sea-based combat maps. As for the weapons and vehicles, they're fine. As I stated earlier, there really aren't that many weapons for all intents and purposes, but they do work. The guns also lack a really good oomph to them when you fire them, and this includes the anti-tank weapons, which can tank away from the feel. As for the vehicles, your choices really aren't great. There's only one choice per category, but they do work. And unlike the guns, the vehicles that do have weapons on them do actually have a lot of oomph to their shots, so they do sound good. The only real major complaint I actually have, though, is that planes are extremely stiff and it's pretty hard to get the hang of flying. Now, the biggest element of this game that has few of these issues is mods. If you can think of it, the game likely has a mod for it by now. This is Ravenfield's real core. If you just take a quick browse through the workshop, that'll show just how much the community really is passionate for this game, and many of the modders try to make the game as best as they can, and many of them are talented. Sofa is literally such a good mod creator that he has a deal with Baron Von Games to create content, and if you play his stuff, it is all very high quality. Blaze at the moment is currently making me an Atla mod that may or may not be on the workshop by the time I upload this video, and suffice to say, his other stuff, commissioned or not, is still really fun to play with. Lemieux has a gore mod that adds some really gritty moments to a game that is literally at its core just red team v blue team, and not to mention the fact that his maps and mutators are excellent quality. Even little things like the flags the teams use can be altered to allow for more authentic gameplay, and as of recently, modders can create their own story missions. Development of those is understandably slow, but the fact that it's possible at all will put Ravenfield in leagues with things like Gmod for its potential.
Sir?
What now, officer?
What are you doing?
I'm using the public urinal. Now, of course, none of this really matters if the game itself isn't fun. No matter how you play Ravenfield, you'll have to pick between one of the 6, technically 8, game modes. This is currently the only thing you cannot mod in the game, but given how customizable literally everything else is, I am positive at some point the game modes will be moddable too. The most basic game mode I recommend you start off with is Point Match. It's the first game mode ever introduced, and all you have to do is score more points than the opposing team to win. We've all played a game mode like it before elsewhere. It's a simple concept and it'll help you get the grasp of the game. Battle is more or less just point match, but kills are the only thing that matters in this mode. I personally believe this mode drags on way too long, even on the short length, but if you like a long, grueling battle, then this game mode is perfect for you. However, if you're like me and you prefer a much shorter mode, then you'll really like Skirmish. In this mode, each team only has a certain number of waves, and whoever loses all of their waves first is the team that loses. What I like about this game mode is how dynamic it is. When you die, you don't respawn with your selected kit. Instead, you go to a bot that has a different loadout than you. It actually works exactly like Battlefield 2 Modern Combat for the 3 people here who've ever played that game. Domination mode is sort of like a King of the Hill type game mode. You have to capture or hold 3 points, and you holding or losing those count towards the score. Much like any other mode, whoever has the highest amount of points by the end is the winner. Spec Ops is a stealth-based game mode where you go around a map of your choosing to complete certain tasks with a squad of bots. The stealth mechanics themselves are very bare bones, but you can have some fun with it for a little bit, pretending to be cooler than you actually are. And much like the rest of the game, you can use a bunch of mods to do anything you want with it. Haunted mode, on the contrary, hasn't been updated in literal years, and it doesn't even support mods. But it is an alright survival mode. Conquest, likewise, has only had minor updates over the years, and it's still base game only. The difference is, however, you have an overlay and you're trying to conquer certain maps, and as you play, you're able to purchase guns and vehicles for your team. Same goes for the enemy. It actually works kind of like a budget version of the Galactic Conquest mode from the 2005 Battlefront 2, which a shockingly high amount of you would have played that phenomenal game.
You should going down!
So, all in all, what do I think? Well, I think Ravenfield is a fantastic FPS. Barring a few small issues like really stiff animations and 2 modes literally not being updated whatsoever, the game has a great foundation. It is your FPS first and foremost, and the second you download a mod, you make it your game. So, go play this game and make an FPS you want. And also, Steel, add a fucking search bar to a lot of these menus.